The Bates Motel stood in eerie silence, its weather-beaten sign creaking ominously in the night breeze. Inside, the air was heavy with the scent of dampness and decay, a haunting reminder of the secrets that lurked within its walls. In the depths of the motel's basement, a woman named Sarah found herself trapped in a nightmare beyond comprehension. She had stumbled upon the Bates Motel in search of shelter from a storm, unaware of the horrors that awaited her within its confines. At first, Sarah was relieved to find refuge from the tempest outside. But her relief quickly turned to dread as she discovered the truth about her host, Norman Bates, the troubled proprietor of the motel whose fractured psyche harbored a darkness beyond imagining. Norman appeared kind and polite at first, offering Sarah a warm meal and a comfortable bed for the night. But as the hours passed, Sarah began to sense something unsettling about her host, a palpable tension that hung in the air like a suffocating fog. In the dead of the night, Sarah awoke to the sound of whispered voices echoing through the corridors of the motel. Creeping out of her room, she followed the haunting melodies to the basement, where she stumbled upon a scene of unspeakable horror. Norman stood before her, clad in a tattered dress and a wig, his eyes wide with madness as he conversed with an unseen presence. A presence he referred to as Mother. "Mother, please," Norman pleaded, his voice trembling with desperation. "She's not like the others. She's special. We have to protect her." Sarah watched in horror as Norman's demeanor shifted, his gentle facade crumbling away to reveal the twisted truth beneath. It was then that she realized the full extent of her predicament. She was trapped in the lair of a madman, a prisoner to his delusions and depravity. Desperate to escape, Sarah pleaded with Norman to let her go, but her cries fell on deaf ears. He was convinced that she was his lover, his savior from the clutches of his domineering mother, a mother who existed only in his fractured mind. As the days turned into weeks, Sarah languished in captivity, her spirit broken by the relentless torment inflicted upon her by Norman and his imaginary mother. She endured unspeakable horrors at their hands, each day a living nightmare of pain and despair. But as her desperation grew, so too did her determination to break free from her prison. With every ounce of strength she possessed, Sarah plotted her escape, biding her time until the opportunity presented itself. And then, one fateful night, as Norman lay in a drug-induced slumber, Sarah made her move. With trembling hands and a racing heart, she crept through the darkness of the basement, her eyes fixed on the door that stood between her and freedom. But just as she reached for the handle, a figure emerged from the shadows. A figure clad in a tattered dress and a wig, its eyes gleaming with madness and malice. "Mother," Norman's voice hissed, his feature contorted with rage. "You can't leave me. Not again." With a scream of terror, Sarah recoiled in horror as Norman lunged forward, his hands grasping at her throat with a strength born of madness. In the chaos that followed, she fought for her life, her screams echoing through the empty corridors of the Bates Motel. But in the end, it was all for naught. As the life drained from her body, Sarah's final thought was one of bitter irony, a tragic reminder of the darkness that lurked within the shadows of the Bates Motel, where madness reigned supreme and nightmares became reality.